Welcome back. This is section on exponents. We're going to do one more of these simplification ones, right, where we go through the recipe. Then we're going to do ones where we're adding in, I spoke about the blueberries, okay? We're going to add the blueberries in, okay? But first of all, let's just check if my recipe works, our recipe, okay? Not mine, it's ours. Okay, we're baking all of these mathematical cakes. Right, let's have a look at an example over here now. All right, is x squared all to the power of x minus 1 multiplied by x squared multiplied by x squared y to the power of minus x, okay? And underneath we've got y to the minus x, and in brackets x y to the minus 3x. Can you see the bases over here? Okay, all the bases over here, okay, they are x's. So we've got x in the base and x in the exponent, right? Now your initial thing is, oh my goodness, no, this is, I've never seen this. Let's just follow the recipe, okay? Let's pretend we're just gonna follow it blindly, all right? And let's see if it works. Okay, let's have a look. Step one was prime factors, right? Not applicable here because all the bases are x's, so leave it alone. What was step 2? Remove brackets. Well, let's remove the brackets then. So what have we got? We've got x, I'm removing over here now. Okay, that 2 must be multiplied by both because that's where the errors come, huh? 2x minus 2, x squared. Let's do this. Remember, that must be on both now. So it's going to be x to the minus 2x, y to the minus x, right? All over y to the minus x, he's got no brackets, x to the minus 3x, right? Remember, okay, here we go. That must go to both, correct? Okay, and lastly, y to the minus 3x as well. Okie dokes. What did the next step of the recipe say? Step 3 was, I know that's coming. Step 3 is going to be factorize. Okay, split. Okay, let's split it. Okay, x to the 2x, x to the minus 2, x to the 2, x to the minus 2x, y to the minus x, okay, all over y to the minus x. There wasn't a lot to split here. Can you see, only one I had to split, guys, was this one. But I followed the recipe, haven't I? I haven't done anything different. Split, okay? What was step 4? Step 4 is going to come in, it's going to be a factorizing situation. But step 4 in this case is going to be negative to positive. Let's have a look. That's going to be, I'm just going to slide this up a little bit. X to the, remember what we do, draw a line, start there. X to the 2x. That x squared goes down. That x squared stays. This x to the 2x goes down. The y to the x goes down. Can you see I've done the top row? This y to the x goes up. This x to the 3x goes up. And this y to the 3x goes up. Now, I've done everything I can. I take out my cancelling pen. X to the 2x. Yes, there he is. Gone. Y to the x. Yo, you're gone as well now. X squared. You're gone as well. What have I got? Left. Okay. All we've got left is x to the 3x, y to the 3x. Now remembering these two are the same, that is the same as x times y, all to the power of 3x, isn't it? All right? X times y to the power of 3x. Because if I've got x and a y and a 3, that is the same as, it must go to both, x cubed, y cubed. Correct? Okie dokes. Now let's add in something different, right? Okay, I want you to, okay, I hope you make notes of these. That's the real purpose. They're intense, I know. But the reason is to stay with, for this 25 minutes of intense maths, it really will give you such a boost, okay? Because you're training your brain into these recipes over and over and over again. We're doing loads of different examples. So you should be seeing the patterns coming now, before I even say it, actually. Okay, let's have a look now. Now we're going to add additional. This is the Blueberries. We're going to have plus and minus signs in numerator and denominator. Oh my word. Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, is where the factorize step comes in. All right? So what we've got is we say prime factors, remove the brackets, split, factorize, okay, cross cancel, deal with negative signs at those 2 points right at the end. Let's have a look. Here they say simplify. 16 to the power of x minus 1 over 5 times 4 to the power of x minus 5. Okay? Okay, step 1. 1 was 2 prime factor. 16 is 2 to the power of 4 x minus 1 over 5 times 2 squared x minus 5. Okay? Please note, what's the big difference here? We've got a minus and a minus sign. We have introduced this here. There's an additional layer. If we've got pluses and minuses, we are going to factorize. Yes, we're still going to get to the happy place of cancelling a whole lot of stuff out. That's what simplifies for. We want to cancel it out. So let's move along and see, how do I do this? Okay, what was the next step? Can you remember? Okay, prime factors, multiply out brackets. Next step was remove brackets. So let's do it. 2 to the power of 4x minus 1 over 5 times 2 to the power of 2x minus 5. Okie dokie. What are we going to do now? Now we've done that, all right? The next step is, here it comes. Factorize. All right? The secret here, let's just spend a second looking at this 2 to the power of 4x. This is 2 to the power of 4x minus 1 on top. I'm going to subtly change it. That is 2 to the power of x. Okay? Isn't it? Right? All I've done is I've switched around I've put the x inside. Now, this is slightly advanced, okay? But let's just look at it here, because this might explain. I'm not sure what to do with this, but let me show you a technique. Let k, it's called the k method, all right? It's actually a mathematical technique called the k method. Let k be equal to 2 to the x. Therefore, that becomes k to the 4th minus 1. Now, if I say to you, factorize that, yeah, what is it? Let's call it, it's x to the 4th minus 1. Yeah, I've just changed x to a k. Hang on. Well, let's think. What is it? Trinomial, no, grouping. It's difference of 2 squares. This factorizes into k squared minus 1 and k squared plus 1. Doesn't it? So now I can put my k back. I can say, okay, you are therefore 2 to the x minus 1, all right? And you are 2 to the x is 2x, right? 2 to the 2x plus 1. All right? Because k was 2 to the x, so it's going to be 2 to the x all squared. Let me just redo that step, okay? Sorry, let's just redo the step here. Okay, I know this is new. So we've got this factorizes into k squared. Now put back, what is k? K is 2 to the x. It's squared, isn't it? Minus 1 and 2 to the x squared plus 1. Okay, what happens now? Now I remove the brackets. That's 2 to the 2x minus 1, 2 to the 2x plus 1. Okay? A very important technique to notice. The difference of two squares coming in over there. Okay? In fact, very, very important. Okay? Because that kind of thing is much loved. Okay, so we have now factorized that, and at the bottom I can take out a 5. Remember, I can take out a 5, and that leaves us with, let me just have a look, it leaves us with 2 to the x minus 1. Okay, let me just have a look here. Oh, come on. 2x minus 1. Can you see that? Okay, you guys don't have to slide up and down. You've got on one piece of paper. So it's 5, 2x minus 1. Now let's have a look. Cancel out. Therefore, we are left with what? We are left with 2 to the power of 2x plus 1 divided by 5. All right? Let's do another one of these, right? Where we've got pluses and minuses. Let's look at this. 7. Okay, this is an example here. Wow. This is an example here. 7 to the power of x minus 1 multiplied by 17 plus 7 to the power of x plus 1. All over 7 to the power of x plus 7 to the power of x minus 1. You're going, no way, Jose. Okay? Well, follow the recipe. What do we say? Prime factors. Immediately we see pluses, minuses. We know we're going to have to factorize. Straight off, we know it. Okay? So, let's go through the first stages of the recipe. Right, here we go. Okay, I've got to make a new page and then bring it down slightly. All right. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, not quite enough for me, might be for you. Okay, 7. Let's first of all prime factors. Step 1 is prime factors. They are all prime factors, so we don't do it. Step 2 is, okay, multiply out brackets. Don't need to do that either, because we don't have any. Step 3 was split. Right? Let's split. 7 to the power of x, 7 to the minus 1, multiplied by 17, plus 7 to the power of x, 7 to the 1, over 7 to the x plus 7 to the x, 7 to the minus 1. Okay? Factorize. Take out on top. What is the factor that I can take out on top? Okay? Generally, don't worry about the numbers. Take out 7 to the power of x. Okay? That leaves me with 7 to the power of minus 1 times 17 plus 7 to the power of 1, correct? All over 7 to the power of x, 1, careful there, right? Because 1 times that must give me 7 to the power of x, plus 1 times 7 to the minus 1. Cancelling pencil, there we go, it's done. Now, let's see what we're left with, okay? Oddly enough, this is where most students mess up. They don't know this. Well, let's look at make positive. Okay, that's going to be 17 over 7 plus 7, right? 1 plus 1 over 7. 7 to the minus 1 is a seventh. Then you use your calculator and work it out, and you end up with 33 over 4. Okay? You end up with 33 over 4. Okay? Let's continue with another one. Okay? I've got another favorite coming up in a few secs. All right? Let's have a look here. Example. Minus 2 times 9 to the n plus 3 to the 2n plus 1 all over 3 to the power of n plus 3 minus 3 to the power of 2 plus n. Okay, step 1, prime factors, right, is minus 2 times 3 squared and n goes there, okay, plus 3 to the 2n plus 1. Be careful, don't try and do 2 steps in one and split that. Okay? You can when you're very strong at it. But in the beginning, follow the recipe with it, because when they get very complicated and very long, as you've seen some of them are, it's better to just follow the recipe and stick with it. Eh? And over at the bottom, we've got 3 to the n plus 3 minus 3 to the 2 plus n. Multiply the brackets out. That essentially just becomes, okay, I'm just going to basically erase them, okay, just becomes 3 to the 2n, doesn't it? All right? Okay, happy with that? Then we say split 3 to the 2n plus 3 to the 2n and 3 to the 1 over 3 to the n, 3 to the 3 minus 3 squared, 3 to the n. Okay, this was my split. Factorize. Why? Because we've got a plus and a minus. That's why plus and minus, factorize. Okay. When in doubt, factorize it out. Okay. That means I'm taking out on top 3 to the 2n. It's common, right? Leaves with minus 2 times a 1. Whoops. I was a little bit hasty with my bracket there. Minus 2 times a 1 where that came from. Plus 3. Oh. And at the bottom, 3 to the n comes out, right? Okay. And it leaves me with 1 times 3 to the 3 minus 3 squared. What happens here? 3 to the 2n, all right, becomes what? That can cancel. 3 to the 2n, and that becomes, let me take my cancelling pencil, that becomes 3 to the n, right? Happy with that? Why? Let's just go through the steps. That's 3 to the 2n, and if I take over 3 to the n, now if I say, okay, 3 to the 2n times 3 to the minus n, I've now taken it up, which is going to be 3 to the 2n minus n. 2n minus n is 3 to the n. Okay? So that cancels, and what am I left with in brackets? You work that out, minus 2 plus 1. I'm going to end up with 3 to the n over, and I've done it already, 18. Oh, great, that 3 and 18 can cancel, hey? So that leaves me with 1 to the n over 6, right? No, you can't, all right? You cannot cancel that out because that 3 is linked to the n. It can't cancel with the 18 at the bottom, all right? We are moving along, okay? Let's have a look at, this is a favorite. Guys, this is a real favorite of everyone. Simplify. Or evaluate without a not that a calculator would help you at all anyway. The following: 2 to the power of 1010 minus 2 to the power of 2008 divided by 2 to the power of 2012 plus 2 to the power of 2008. Okay, now you can go to your calculator and you can try and see what you get until the cows come home with this, right? And I can assure you that you can put that into your calculator and your calculator can't answer it for you because it runs out of digits. You need a computer to do that, okay? So therefore, what do? Hang on a second. Prime factor. They are already prime factors. They're 2's, right? But yes, if there was a 4 there, you prime factor it. So if it was 4 to the 1010, that's a 2 by the way, to the 2010, let me just tidy that up, Kevin. To the 2010, right? I would say 2 squared, 2010, and then that becomes 2 to the 4020. It multiplies out. Recipe, still the same, right? Prime factor, multiply brackets. Split, there's no splits to do on this one, okay? So therefore, the only thing remaining is I have to do what? Yep. Factorize. These are all the same, this type of problem. When you see one in your textbooks, okay, and there are a few in most of the textbooks I've got, you can see, you take out 2 to the highest number you can. Can you see on the top 2008? That is 2 bigger. So you take out 2 to the power of 2008. What does it leave me with there? It leaves us with 2 to the power of 2. Why? Because if I multiply that back, I end up, well, let me finish, minus 1. Let's multiply it back. That's 2 to the power of 2008 times 2 to the, what happens? You add them. So it becomes the 10, right? 1, because 1 times that is that. And at the bottom, also 2008 comes out. It's not always 2008. Could be 2007 or 6. But then we'll see what we're going to do with that. And over here, that becomes 2 to the 4 minus 1, right? Can you see that what happens here? Take out. Next step is cancel, right? Boom, boom, done. Okay, so what? Well, there's your answer. Your answer is 4 minus 1 over 2 to the 4th is actually 16 plus 1 is 3 over 17. Okay? So let's say, for example, we had 2 to the power of 2008 on top, 2 squared minus 1, and at the bottom we had 2 to the power of, let's say, 2 to the, sorry, my bad, with 2 to the power of 2006, and at the, there we had, say, 2 minus 2 to the power of 2. I mean, I've changed it from what it was, okay? This is a new one. Okay? I'm just messing around. What do? I can cancel out. Take out my pen. There we go. That leaves me with 2 to the power of 2. Because 2 to the power of 2008 all over 2 to the power of 2006, all right? I ain't going to write that out, is 2 to the power of 2008 minus 2006, because I'm going to subtract it, right? Gives me 2 to the power of 2. Then what do now? All right, I can go ahead and I can work it out. Well, that is 4, and in brackets is 4 minus 1, and at the bottom is 2 minus 4. And the answer is going to be 3 is 12 over minus 2, which my answer is minus 6. All right? That's what happens with those. Okay, let's just finish off with surds. All right? All right? Surds. Those are anything under that sign. That is square root. It's the same as to the power of a half. This is cube root of something, whatever, doesn't matter, is something to the power of 1/3. Right? So let us say they now give us a third. Some textbooks do it, some don't. If this section isn't yours, then just skip it. Okay, what do? They say simplify this. 12x cubed y 7 all over 3x 5y. First of all, let's look. I can cancel here. Always look to simplify. That's going to be a 4. X cubed x5 cancels x5. Y cancels, leaving me with a y6. So we've simplified already that is the square root of 4y6 over x to the power of x3 x2. Right? That's a 2. My bad. Okay. Then we change that now to an exponent. We say that is 4y to the 6 x to the 2 over a half. Then we bring that into each one. That is 4 to the half, y to the 6 times a half, x to the 2 times a half. Remember, it must multiply into every body, correct? So what do I end up with here? Okay, we end up with, all right, something quite straightforward. Well, what is 4 to the power of a half? Technically, it's 2 to the power of 2 times a half, which is going to be equal to 2, times y to the 6 times a half, y to the 3, and that is x at the bottom. All right? That's a multiply, not an x. Okay? Please remember, okay, here's another one very quickly. They want to know the square root of 9x to the 10 plus the square root of 4x to the 10 all over 5x cubed. First of all, change the third to an exponent and prime factor. 3 squared x 10. Can you see? Prime factor again, all to the half. Plus 2 squared x to the 10 to the half, all over 5x cubed. Right? Well, all we've done is prime factored and put the third to an exponent. Now multiply out brackets. You've done that before. A half times 2 is 1. X to the 5th plus 2x to the 5th over 5x to the 3. Okay? Therefore, what do we get left with? That becomes 5x to the 5th over 5x cubed. Can I cancel? Can I? Of course you can now. That cancels, leaving us with all at the end of the day equal to x squared. Okay? Last thing on surds, remember this, okay? The xth root of 7 to the power of x is 7. Why? Because 7 to the power of x, change that to 1 over x, multiply is 7, 1 over x, x over 1 times is 7 to the power of 1. Okay? The next section we're going to do is we're going to do exponential equations. All right? I'll see you on that side. We are now going ahead with maths at a great pace. I'm hoping you're enjoying it. I'm hoping that the little tricks are starting to come through. We're doing a lot of repetition, but believe me, the more repetition, the more you listen, the more you learn. Have a good one and see you soon. Cheers. Bye.